Good morning. It's moving day. I'm filling up because we're only using electric where we're going. Not quite full yet. It's going to burp.
Yeah, this tank has a tendency to burp. A lot. We are departing the Granite State. Well, yes, today we're visiting Maine, properly this time. We were here back in 2018, but what was supposed to be a 2-month trip had to be shortened to just 2 weeks, when my old trusted tow vehicle finally died.
Welcome to Maine.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, there's the official sign, so let's stop at the Welcome Center.
I'm gonna pretend we're arriving in Maine for the first time because the last time it was rushed, it didn't go all that well. So let's go into the visitor center and see what they have.
Visitor centers like this one are usually a great resource. They have knowledgeable locals and lots of information.
Well, just got some information. Gentleman circled on the map, all the points of interest, main points of interest along the coast. He says that Fort Kent is really far away, but as you know, we've been many times to the southernmost point on US 1, so I think we have to do it. Now it's only like 15 minutes to our first RV park, which the main reason we're staying there is because it is the weekend and it's the only place that had vacancy. Then we'll take it from there.
We're going to spend 2 weeks in the Pine Tree State, starting with the beaches, then Portland, Booth Bay, Bar Harbor, and Acadia National Park. I believe they call that area Down East. We'll even make it to the easternmost point in the contiguous United States and the northern terminus of US 1. There will be many lobster rolls along the way before heading to the highlands. What hidden gems will we find there? We'll soon find out because the epic summer 2024 Maine adventure begins now. I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah. Here we are, going north on I-95, also known as the Maine Turnpike in these parts. Where we're going is called Beach Acres Tent Sites and Park. Ooh, busy little town.
We've made it to Maine. Whoops, I almost fell off the stairs there. And yeah, there was a little bit of a mix-up with the power connections here at the campground, but we're all good now. Not the greatest sight, but hey, no Starlink. But beggars can be choosers. It is the weekend in Maine and everything was booked. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Let's go explore. Everything looks so neat, so well maintained. The last time we were in this area, we definitely didn't have time to appreciate it. We were just checking Maine off of the list, having traveled so far to get here, and we definitely didn't do it justice. It is time we correct that mistake. I can see the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. That's where we're going, Ogunquit Beach, our first point of interest here along the Maine coast. All this on the left, of course, beachfront property. I wonder how much to rent one of those. Of course, the water will be cold, but what a privilege to wake up to an Atlantic sunrise. Not to mention they are turning the charm meter up to 11 here with all these delightful beachfront houses. One of these days, perhaps. This particular area is called Moody Beach. I have a feeling we're approaching a dead end here, but let's go all the way anyway. This is called North Beach, and this is it. Just a parking lot and a dead end. Let's turn around. I mean, there's gotta be more of a downtown area with restaurants and shops, right? This is more like it. This is the southern tip of Ogunquit Beach, which is like a sandbar. And this is the protected inland side of it. Lobster House. That place is probably pretty good. I think we're almost the only people here not ready for a day of fun in the sun, but we just want to see what it looks like out here. We're still getting the lay of the land, if you will.
We're at Ogunquit Beach. I don't think we're gonna be here for a long time, so I parked at the 30-minute. It says 30 minutes. And let's just take a look. I mean, there's a lot of people here. Granted, it's Friday, so tomorrow is going to be even busier, I'm sure. It would be good to find out how much it is for parking, because tomorrow I might want to, come for a couple hours, I mean, in the sun it feels nice, but the earth temperature is in the low 70s, and that water has to be cold. So, but it's beautiful weather for Maine.
Yeah, I don't see too many people in the water, which to me that's what a beach is all about, but I imagine the Atlantic at this latitude is always cold. The sand, especially this area here by the resort, is pretty crowded. There are some brave souls in the water on this side.
It is incredible the amount of people on the beach here. This is really cool. And to me it's kind of, strange, because in Florida, particularly in South Florida, this is almost like winter weather. But anyway, I think we're starting Maine on the right foot this time around. Let's get back into the car and let's go somewhere else. And if it feels like we're rushing today a little bit, well, it's Friday, 6 p.m. We're gonna do a live stream as we usually do. So we gotta get back in like 2 hours. So we're gonna, just explore this part of the coast today, and tomorrow we're probably going to Portland.
Next up, Perkins Cove. It is just a little bit farther south. Look at all the traffic coming back. It is definitely a congested area. It is so charming though. And this is something I've noticed whenever you approach one of the far corners of the country. And we're just getting our toes wet here in Maine, but things feel a little different. Almost like another country, if that makes any sense. There's a certain uniqueness. The same goes for the Florida Keys, or the Pacific Northwest, Southern California, remote Alaska. All these areas have this unique charm, and so far, Maine has not disappointed. Parking $25 all day. There's gotta be a cheaper option, right? We're only gonna be here for 2 hours at the most. Oh, it's our lucky day.
Well, here we are. I believe this is Perkins Cove. We're gonna explore a little bit since we were able to find parking miraculously. That's still crossing.
There's a footbridge. Not any footbridge. It is a drawbridge too. We must walk on it later. It's all about the lobster. It wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea to go sailing. We don't have time today, but certainly in the next couple of days we have to get on the water somehow.
Old fishing boat.
Here's looking back.
Footbridge Lobster. 39 plus tax.
Tempting, but we want to have something else.
Convertible from the 1960s. Let's check out the footbridge. Lobstering trip, that would be fun. Lunch with a view. Look at that.
That looks good.
Lobster and stuffed potato. Let's walk off that delicious meal here in Maine.
That was Orwid Restaurant, and now we're going to walk on this trail around Orwid Cove. All kinds of things to do here. And this is only our first day here in Maine. Always remember to look back. Here's another great view of the cove at low tide and the town.
They gotta cut off this plant, so we can see the view.
I'm joking, of course. There's a sailboat going into Perkins Cove.
Look at that. Erosion.
Here we get our first views of Ogunquit Beach from this vantage point. There again, that busy area at Ogunquit Beach we saw earlier. What can I say? This was a great little hike. And it continues a little ways, but I think this is as far as we want to go. Those are the beachfront houses we saw earlier. A rental sailboat perhaps? That would be cool, with someone who knew what they're doing.
Oh yeah, what a great view of the beach, but I think we've burned enough calories on this trail. From our lobster and our stuffed potato and all that, and the chowder was really good too, and my IPA. Let's head back, because in 90 minutes we have a live stream to do. And let me tell you, there are not many places in the world where in the middle of August it's going to be 70 degrees Fahrenheit. This is very, very pleasant. I wouldn't mind seasonally. It's too big though, a lot to clean.
Hey, I've been looking for a summer property, so Pelicamp, Acadia perhaps? A man can dream.
Yeah, check that out.
Well, this was certainly a relaxing stroll around the cove. Now we start heading back, and tomorrow will be another day.
Can you believe I hit Starship once, twice in a week?
And we're home. This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN, longtime sponsor. And VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. And what it does, it creates a secure private connection between your devices and the internet, for your eyes only. And that's particularly important because as travelers, at some point we're gonna have to connect to that potentially insecure Wi-Fi at a campground, a hotel, coffee shop. I mean, sometimes the password is like camping 123. Sometimes they don't even have passwords. And you never know, someone could be eavesdropping on that connection, potentially stealing your passwords, your identity. You know, they have keystroke loggers that they just record everything you type. So that's particularly important, especially if you're gonna access like sensitive information or whatnot. But that's only its main feature. My favorite feature, as always, is that you can change your location virtually. Let's say you're overseas and you want to access a TV program or YouTube video only accessible from the United States. Very simple. With a click of a button, or 2 or 3 clicks actually, you can change your location virtually to almost anywhere in the world. They have servers all over the place. So yeah. The internet as it was originally intended to be, the World Wide Web. It also has a clean web feature that gets rid of unwanted ads, potential spyware. It has an incognito search for your eyes only. Not that we would ever want to hide anything, but you never know. Anyway, I have a very special deal for you guys. Just go to surfshark.com/myrv and you'll get a very special deal, or up to 4 months for free.
Well, good morning. It's a brand new day. We slept in a little bit. Still, it is 9:30. Today we're going to Portland. The only thing is Portland is about an hour away, so it's gonna... we'll be arriving at the most photographed lighthouse in the United States in about an hour. 10:30 a.m. Let's do it.
Lots of traffic here in this part of Maine. Very, very congested. And there is an antique car show, or a gathering. I don't really know what it is. Small car show, I guess. Ooh, the Turnpike, which, by the way, I have SunPass Pro, which works with EasyPass. Our first stop is going to be the most photographed lighthouse in the United States. Allegedly, anyway. The Portland Head Light. The main parking lot is full. Luckily, there is overflow parking. Plenty of it. I can see it peeking from behind the hill.
They have Lobster, I'm sure.
It is supposed to be one of the most beautiful lighthouses in the United States, built from 1787 to 1791, at the directive of George Washington himself.
Well, there it is, the Portland Head Lighthouse. We're getting off to a great start today.
The other lighthouse in the distance is the Ram Island Ledge Light Station. And these are definitely some great views.
Well, yeah, this I think would be even a better viewpoint, and I believe this is where we did the thumbnail for our 2018 video. I believe it's been 6 years already. And we want to walk around a little bit, and I'm getting hungry, so we're going into Portland soon. Well, let's see if the... Oh, look at that. All the rocks. There's a better viewpoint of here. Actually, there's supposed to be another view from up there. That's where we're going next. Oh, this is the fort, actually.
Yeah, Fort Williams.
Yeah, very cool. I thought it was like an extra viewpoint from a higher elevation, but it's the, I guess, what remains of the fort. I'm gonna go up anyway.
Fort Williams was built in the 1890s and decommissioned in 1963. The best view was definitely from down there, although this is not bad. From every angle, it is a sight to behold.
And from everywhere, it's a slightly different view. Let's start heading back down and maybe get closer to the lighthouse. I'm still debating whether to have a lobster roll at that, lunch truck, or we're going to town.
There is a museum and a gift shop, but at this point I think we're good with just the views.
The official plaque, right here. 1790, that's really old.
Let's go into town. Look at all the people coming in now. Overflow parking may not be sufficient. Crossing the Casco Bay Bridge into downtown. it is a vibrant, busy downtown. I was thinking of parking here, but there is a 2-hour limit, so let's look for another option. We want to spend pretty much the rest of the day here. So far, I love it. It's got character. During that aforementioned trip in 2018, we didn't really have time to do anything here. 7 feet clearance, Starship is 6'7", so we're good.
Well, this is where we parked, the 4th Street parking garage. $7 an hour. Ouch! But we don't want any time limits. We don't. And but if it is 28 or 35 bucks, it is what it is. Oh, nice streets here.
We're stepping onto the cobblestone alleys of the old port. This one is called Wharf Street, and we're immediately transported into a different era, but with split air conditioners and nice restaurants and shops. Not very busy at this time of the day. I mean, it's not even noon yet, so I imagine this place will be happening soon.
Very uneven. Feels very authentic.
We ended up at this place called Rigby Yard, and we're having take a guess.
It's called a Nonsuch 2.0 IPA. Only 5.3%, so it's good because it's going to be a long day. There it is, another lobster roll in Maine. Tasty.
We're going to use the restroom and then we keep going.
Well, let me tell you, probably the tastiest lobster roll so far in the whole trip. Up until now, they've been kind of very fresh but plain, and this one just had like the right amount of salt and whatever spice they put in it. Now, there's a famous donut somewhere around here that we want to try.
Let's walk along a commercial street, see what we stumble upon.
One of those cycling bars that they make you work for your drinks. The Holy Donuts. Peculiarity about this place, they make their donuts, they're potato based, which is weird, so let's check it out.
There's a little bit of a line to go in, but it's not too bad. You know how I feel about long lines.
Original. Maple bacon. This one looks more promising. Well, now we can say we have tried the famous potato-based Holy Donut. I don't know if I would make a long line for it, but just for the novelty of it, it wasn't bad. Let's see what else we can do. Maybe we should cross the street.
All these piers, they have a bunch of restaurants on them, very nice. And here's the old customs house, built between 1867 and 1872, at a time when Portland was one of the most significant seaports in the country. As I said, bunch of bars and restaurants on these piers.
Well, this is something we may or may not do, but check it out. They have these ferries that go to the islands, and this one is about to depart. Yeah, that's gotta take some skill. So these tight quarters in here. And this is the ferry that you would take to Peaks Island, and it's a 20-minute ride, so we might do it later.
Yeah, first, let's walk around a little bit. There's a coastal trail we may want to take. And there's also like a historic train. Here we have this fading mural. Actually, we must go on a whale watching tour before we leave the state.
The world, Chico, and everything in it. It's kind of artsy.
This is called the Eastern Promenade Trail, also known as the Joseph E. Gray Jr. Trail.
Let's have a coffee.
Yeah, it is time for an espresso.
Oh, cheers. Here we go, the end of the line. And this is a narrow gauge rail they have here.
These 2 feet wide railroads were common in Maine in the late 19th century. They were cheaper and easier to build around hilly or curvy terrain.
Well, we ask for information. It's a 40-minute ride on the train, and it departs in 15 minutes, but I think we're just gonna walk it. There's a trail that goes right next to the railroad track, so we're gonna be able to see the train as we go on. We may not wanna spend the whole 40 minutes, or we just wanna walk at least until that point. There's a point. Maybe I'll put a map here where we're going.
Today I only see diesel locomotives, but I've heard they have steam locomotives too.
There's supposed to be a fort over that bluff, but we want to see the train first.
It's coming any moment now.
Here it comes. Not the straightest track in the world now, is it? There it comes. You would think I've never seen a train before in my life, but this one is a pretty cool one.
As cool as it is, I am glad we decided to walk instead of taking the train. I think it is cooler to see it from outside.
Oh, there you go, the famous narrow gauge railroad of Portland. I was gonna say Oregon, but it's Portland, Maine.
We're gonna continue walking on the trail.
East End Beach, right here. Some people in kayaks, that's about it.
We're gonna go up the hill and up this lawn.
The views are certainly getting better as we go up this hill. I think this is the only hill we're gonna have to climb. It's a pretty commanding view of the bay here. See all the islands out there. Very cool.
I believe this whole area is called Munjoy Hill, and it is very nice, very relaxing. Residential.
As you may notice, everything in Maine has a certain quirkiness to it. Even a regular apartment building like this one, it's architecturally interesting. Same as this,
The Hill Arts here is a historic theater. And check out this car.
Yeah, quirky in a feline way.
As it is usually the case, we're barely scratching the surface here, but such a great town.
I think that's it. I think that's where we're going. We've made it to the hilltop. It's the Portland Observatory, dating back to 1807. That's old.
$10 to get to the top. Let's do it. This happens to be the only remaining wooden maritime signal tower. Its primary function was to communicate with incoming ships using a telescope and flags.
Those steps are pretty tall. You'll see some of these signs on the way down. Right now, let's just get to the top. It keeps getting smaller and smaller the higher you go. Very getting pretty.
Getting a little bit of a view here.
Let's keep going. Flag locker. Oh, cool.
Yeah, those were the flags for communicating with incoming ships from this higher vantage point.
And we've made it to the top. These are pretty commanding views.
Let's take a look towards downtown and Casco Bay. What a great view! Even though we're not really all that high, only 222 feet or 68 meters above sea level. That's one of the ferries we may want to take later. And then looking towards the ocean, you can see pretty far across Casco Bay and beyond. I believe that might be Portland Head off in the distance, on the right.
We're of course downtown, but other than that, we're pretty much surrounded by water on all directions.
It is so small at the top, and here we have interpretive signs with what we're seeing in every direction. Here we have more interpretive signs and the telescope, similar to the one they used. The original disappeared in 1939, mysteriously. The rooms keep getting larger and larger the lower we go. It's being renovated many times over the years, the most recent from 1998 to 2000.
Surrounded by water, almost all directions here. Well, yeah, commanding views for sure. Now, let's get back down to downtown. And here we've got a cemetery.
This is the Eastern Cemetery. It is the oldest historic site in Portland with over 4,000 graves.
This is part of the Portland Freedom Trail.
The Portland Freedom Trail is a 2-mile self-guided tour throughout the city's most historic areas, including those related to its African American population.
Established 1668. Welcome tour, 4 p.m. We'll be back, but right now we want to see if we can catch the boat.
About the Italian flags? Well, in mid-August they celebrate something called the St. Pete's Italian Bazaar.
Lots of Italian flags.
Even the crosswalks are painted in the colors of the Italian flag, so after doing more research, this may be the location of the old Little Italy neighborhood that no longer exists. Let me know in the comments if this is correct. Here's another station on the Freedom Trail, and we're ready to board our ferry. To be honest, I wasn't expecting this many people. I guess many of these are just locals commuting back and forth. Which, by the way, we're going to Peaks Island, which is only accessible by ferry. And apparently there's a lot to do there, but we're basically just going for the ferry ride. Just because almost everything looks better from the water. Check out the Portland Observatory. We were just up there. That's Fort Gorges, only accessible by boat. There's Portland Head in the distance, and Spring Point Ledge Lighthouse going right past it. Portland Head once again way out there. And that would be Fort Scammell. We're taking a little bit of a roundabout route, maybe because of currents? I don't know, but it is not the straightest way to the island. Of all the forts in Casco Bay, Fort Scammell here, built in 1808, was the only fort to fire a shot and be fired upon in battle. It happened in early August of 1813. And that's where we're going.
Island.
Here's looking back towards Portland.
And we've made it to Peaks Island, and let me tell you, that boat can hold a lot more people than it looks.
$8.50 an hour, and I'm like, wait a
We could rent a golf cart.
We really did zero research here. This was totally on impulse, so let's just go for a stroll and see what's going on. Maybe we can have a refreshing beverage here at the inn.
Now we have to wait another hour for the next one.
Sure, why not? Let's kill some time here.
Island Time IPA. Well, that was very refreshing, but I think this is an island that is best enjoyed with a slow-moving vehicle like a golf cart, or bring your own cart. There's some like a nature preserve and some vista points on the other side, but for now let's just walk on this main street here and see what there is to see. I mean, we have like 15 minutes to kill before we have to like start getting close to the ferry terminal. Umbrella Cover Museum, Guinness World Record. That's a small pickup truck, just a tad bigger than a golf cart. Sunflowers must get confused here because the sun is that way. And that would be Portland over there in the haze.
I think this island deserves a little more time. It might even justify staying overnight.
I don't think there's anything else walking distance here, so maybe we should go back. What do you think? Let's check out the beach here. Nice little beach here. on this side too. We're gonna start getting in line for our boat because we've got what, 15 minutes.
Oh, lobster rolls everywhere.
All right, here we go. Our ride is coming. This is a cargo coming into the island. Vamos por arriba.
And we're back in Portland.
Well, yeah, I think we've had enough fun for one day. So we have some food in the camper. We're gonna go back to the camper and have some dinner and call it a day. It's been fun. Yeah, gin tasting.
Let me tell you, it is tempting, but we have an hour drive ahead of us. We'll definitely return one of these days. I had no idea I was going to like Portland this much.
We made it to the parking lot. And there is Starship sticking out. Well, as expected, parking ended up being $42 for 6 hours. Ouch, it is what it is.
In 300 feet, turn left onto Union Street. At the light, turn left onto Union Street, then turn right onto Commercial Street.
Got all that? Off we go. Busy at the campground tonight. If you've been watching for a while, you know what I'm gonna make, a variation of it. As you probably know, I don't usually use recipes, so it always comes out a little different. For example, today I'm using Salt Lick Barbecue Rub. We bought it earlier this summer at the Salt Lick in Austin. Also, Susie Q Santa Maria style seasoning. Let's add some extra garlic for extra flavor, just in case of vampires, huh? Notice I didn't use any oil. That is tallow from the beef. I have some frozen sofrito mix and some sweet peas. Let's cover it up. Time to move it around and cover it again. It is still frozen solid. It's starting to look good. Now for the main ingredients, we're going to do some cooking wine. Big surprise. Tomato puree, just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. Smoked paprika, oregano, cumin, the three staples of Cuban cuisine, really. A little bit of cayenne pepper to give it a little kick, that Cajun twist. Basil, now I'm really getting creative. And turmeric, which is supposed to be good for everything. I remembered I had a jar of pimentos, so here we go. And let's do a little more garlic. I think I've really gone overboard here today.
Well, even in Maine, sometimes you have to take a break from lobster. So I made this. It's not the most classic recipe, but it's what we had. So, salud. Well, what can I say? We're drinking champagne in Maine.
On the next one, the adventure continues. In Boothbay, Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park, and beyond. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.